The segment is sponsored by Whipple Service Champions. Is your AC ready for this summer heat? Tim with Whipple Service Champions is back to share expert advice to help you stay cool and safe all summer long. Welcome back to the show, Tim.
Great, thanks for having me.
Great to see you. Okay, let's start with the basics. What are the most common reasons an AC unit might suddenly stop working in the summer, which is like the last thing that you want?
Right, you know, it's really rarely just one thing. These are very complex systems, and it can be the smallest component that just finally fails, or it could be a little component that has been fatiguing over time and caused something else in the system to fail. So really tough to say one specific thing. Best thing you can do is get preventative maintenance done just to make sure you catch it ahead of time.
Okay, so maybe little things at a time, all adding up to that big ending where like it's going to be July and it's like the hottest time of year. It's just bound to happen. Okay, is there anything homeowners can safely check or like troubleshoot on our own before we call a professional?
Sure, yeah, if it does start to malfunction or not work, simple things you can check. Start with your thermostat, make sure it's set properly. If it does have batteries, you can go ahead and replace those, check those. If that doesn't work, make your way outside, check the AC unit. You know, a lot of times we'll see folks, you know, storing things for the winter, moving things around.
Like leaning on it.
Exactly, it can get a little cluttered around there, so just make sure you've got a couple feet of clearance around that. If you see leaves or debris building up around it, or on the unit itself, you can just rinse it off with a hose, that may work. And then if that doesn't work, you can make your way down to the indoor unit and check your filter one more time. But I think the most important thing is if your system still doesn't work after all that, best thing you could do is you actually just want to turn it off and then have an HVAC professional come out and take a look.
Okay, after you've checked all those things yourself, that's good advice. What regular maintenance can we do to help prevent these sudden breakdowns? Is there anything?
Sure, you know, best thing you can do, manufacturers recommend a maintenance on your system twice a year. So before the heating season and before the cooling season.
Twice a year.
And best way to do that is we have a club program that'll help remind you of that. Right now, this time of year, we really have to take care of the folks who no longer have working systems and get them back to a safe, healthy, comfortable place as quickly as we can. So best thing you can do, join a club membership program. We'll remind you, make sure we get you on the calendar before we get into June, before we get into July, and you start running into bigger challenges.
That's great, because time flies, and all of a sudden, that's nice you guys give reminders. And speaking of time flying, how often should filters be changed, and why is that so important? These are really good reminders.
Sure. Generally about 1 to 3 months, usually more closer to every 1 month. Really depends on your system and if you've got pets, things like that in the home. Kind of what I mentioned earlier, it can be the smallest component that breaks down. And generally what we find, it's that dirt, dust, debris getting into the system makes the motor work harder, it sort of starts to coat certain parts of the system that make them work harder, and eventually that's what leads to failure. So changing your filter ahead of time prevents a lot of that on the back end.
It really does. Okay, where can we go for more information if we need a professional?
Sure. Easy place to reach us at whippleplumbing.com or call us on our phone number at 801-444-FAST.
Amazing. Thanks for helping us stay cool and safe this summer. We appreciate you, Tim. Great to see you.
You too. Thank you.